Yeah, that definitely has never been said before.
It obviously sucked. Like, no one enjoyed that situation.
Yeah.
You were receiving hate, and then we were receiving hate, and then it was just like this whole thing.
Yeah, and I haven't even spoke on it until I think right now. Hey, this is long term, and I don't necessarily have a plan.
No, but would you ever consider playing pro golf?
Matt hated Grant? Oh my gosh!
They all unsubscribed and disliked this podcast. All right, guys, episode number 4. We have a special guest. You guys have all been waiting for him. And here he is, Mr. Grant HORVAT. Hey, thanks for coming on, brother.
Thanks for having me, brother. I don't think anyone's been waiting for me.
No, they definitely have. They definitely have. So today we're going to dive into Grant HORVAT. This is going to be probably an hour-long interview, and we're going to get into all the nitty-gritty, if you will. It's going to be a fun podcast. We got a lot to catch up on, and yeah.
Have we ever done a podcast together?
We did a good podcast forever ago. Remember
Okay.
when we had like kind of everybody involved and stuff?
That was probably 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
That was a while ago.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
But just you and I, not just you and I have ever done
We've
a podcast.
never done this.
That was with like a bunch of people.
Yeah. So we will be joined by Matt Sharp later in this podcast. But
Wow.
yeah, I think we're going to just like get right into it, okay?
This feels like at the end of like a dating show, they do like the reunion. It's like they got to like speak out.
Literally.
Well, not that like,
Okay.
I didn't mean to say, like,
I mean,
the
that's
dating
it.
part.
Why are you
But,
smiling so big though when you say that? That's crazy.
yeah, it just feels like, yeah, you got to like speak out at the end of the show.
Yeah. That's us right now.
Yeah. Like the tell all, you know, that segment.
We're spilling all the beans.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're just going to start this thing off. Okay. We got to rewind because obviously a lot of people that have watched YouTube golf probably know. Actually, I would say this. I'd say a lot of your fans now probably don't know where the beginning stages of you and like when you entered YouTube, because now you have, you know, a massive audience. So I'm sure you have like a ton of people that have just the influx of people that you've had in the last few years probably don't know the full Grant HORVAT story, if you will. So I do want to kind of get into that and start off by rewinding all the way back to November 19th, 2019. And this is the day that you and I met.
You know the exact day.
I know the exact day. So this is...
Whoa.
It does kind of feel like a like a relationship thing. Like this feels like an ex or whatever.
Yeah.
No, but like rewind November 19th, 2019. I'm down at PGA, which at the time you were going to school there.
Yep.
I knew some of your friends through somebody else
Yeah.
at the school.
Yeah.
And they said, you got to meet this Grant HORVAT guy. And I was like, why do I need to meet this Grant HORVAT guy? And they're like, he's got such a smooth swing. And they showed me your swing. I remember. Jacob.
Yeah.
Jacob Shamlin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Showed me your swing. And I was like, wow, that's insane. So we ended up meeting. And that first night that we met, we played each other 1v1 in Call of Duty. Do you remember this?
Yes, I do. Quick scoping.
Who won?
You beat me. But I think we were like tied. And it was like 1st to 10 or something. And you beat me.
Back
There's
in
a video of
the
it.
Black Ops
you
2.
need to put that video up on the screen. That is such a good video of me like screaming
in the dorm room,
Yeah.
going crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, no, that is a crazy story because, like you said, I think most people know that my journey started with Good and You. There are some new people coming in that maybe don't know the story, but going back to college and when I knew you were on campus, I actually remember more than anything. I remember when I knew you were coming to campus, I saw the Stinger video of you.
Dude, see, I was going to ask this, but let's just get into this now.
I remember seeing the Stinger video of you and watching you hit that. And I was like, back then, I was like, I feel like I was more confident or something. I had like a little more like fire in me. And I remember telling Jacob, I was like, I want to play this kid. Like, I want to beat him.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, I want to beat him in a match. Like, I feel like I can take him on. And that was like, it wasn't like, hey, I just want to like hang out with this kid. It was like, I want to play Garrett in a match. After seeing a couple of the Stinger videos. And yeah, that was like the first time seeing your stuff, because you were popping up on my Explore page, all the Stinger clips.
On Instagram.
Yeah, from Sunflower Hills. Like,
Dude,
you were doing Instagram clips and reels way back when.
OG, that's 2019. So I just kind of I was doing fairly well on YouTube. That was like right after Bro 5, but yeah, I do remember you saying like you were gonna beat me.
Yeah, and what
like,
also
was your
what was
thing.
really crazy too is when you got to my college, PBA, and you were on campus. I know Bro 5 happened, and you were in a pretty dark place because you were losing followers. Like, I remember Brody Smith, he came out with the whole reason Bro 5 fell apart, and people were coming after you. And like you were in a pretty dark place. I mean, you were like losing. I remember on Instagram you were saying like you were losing followers because of it. Yeah. But yeah, that is a crazy time. That was when we first met.
That was a wild
PBA.
time. I remember because I also like I was pretty outwardly kind of struggling. Like you could probably tell.
Yeah.
Like I was definitely telling you and everybody else about it because that was such an impactful moment.
Oh yeah.
On me, Matt, and Steve's lives, to be honest.
100%.
I got some phenomenal deals in here! Black Friday only! Oh yeah! Black Friday deals! Come here! Black Friday deals! This year, we got great stuff this year! Printed polos, $75.99? $75.99! Nope! Guys, it's as low as $35. $35 you can get it right now, but only at goodgoodgolf.com. Okay, Q-zips. What were they, 100 bucks? Nope! As low as $50. And only at goodgoodgolf.com. Come on, give it to me. Hoodies, what are hoodies? 70 bucks? No, 35 bucks right now at goodgoodgolf.com. We got prices so low, Santa doesn't know what to do. Okay, the elves, no one knows what to do this year. Fleece crew, 60 bucks, no? Now it's $30. T-shirts, 30 bucks? No, $15. We got head covers for putters, for drivers, for 3-woods. Low as $17.50.
And his name is John.
Oh! Deal's so good, the price is cut in half for some of this stuff. And only at goodgoodgolf.com right now. I didn't think it was gonna break so good.
Okay, well, speaking of college, I do want to kind of get into your college life because you grew up playing golf and your dad, instructor, right?
Yep.
And very good college golfer. Talk to me about college golf, growing up in golf, and also like the pursuit of potentially playing pro golf and where that all changed.
Yeah, my dad was a pro, so I was always around the game. And then I got into the game pretty late. I was like 13 or 14 when I started actually playing. But just fast forward, going into college and playing golf, I had a really bad freshman year. I think my scoring average was like 79. And it went off a scoring average in college. That's what I was always looking at, was like scoring average. That was a big thing. And I was almost going to quit freshman year. At the end of that season, I remember I was in the parking garage at PBA, and I was like talking to my parents, and I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. Like,
really?
I got to the point where I think I had the driver yips off the tee, or some sort of like yips. If there was like OB right and left, like I would totally, like in a tournament, I would like lock up and like try and like guide it. It was like a mental block. And so I was about to quit freshman year, and for some reason I kept going. And right after that, like I feel like I stopped caring because I was at such rock bottom. And yeah, sophomore, junior, senior scoring average went down. And I actually played, right before I was coming out to Texas to move into the Good house, I was leading my conference tournament. I was in the lead. And I was thinking to myself, if I go on to like win this or finish second, I would go on to like the next one, and I would actually delay moving out to
Texas.
I'm not saying I like tried to hit it OV, but I was coming down the end, and I was like, if I make a couple bogeys, I'm good, because I don't really want to keep going with
I
college
remember
golf.
this very vividly, and I actually want to kind of give people a more timeline just so like everyone understands, because I remember in that moment. Okay, we got to rewind though, because first things first, when I come down to PBA, we film a video with Kyle
Yes.
on the range, North Palm Beach.
Yes.
And that was like my first kind of impression of your golf game. Mm-hmm. That was the first time like you'd probably been in a YouTube golf video, probably.
For sure.
And I remember that. But, you know, fast forward, we became friends through PBA. And I'm living in Dallas. I know you're living there. And you're kind of coming up on the end of your college. And I'm like, we kind of set up the idea of you and your teammate at the time, Jacob Shamlin, flying out to Texas to play me and Micah in a 2v2.
Yeah.
And you guys come out there. And honestly, like, we hadn't done a video like this ever. So me and Micah were a little bit nervous. We were like, these two guys, like, I knew you, but I didn't know you like that. Yeah. You guys come, we film the video. And I remember, like, after uploading the video, just seeing the response, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody thought I had a crush on Grant. That's number one. Like, number one, every single comment. Yeah. And I'm in my head about this. I'm like, bro, am I glazing that hard? Which I look back at that video, and honestly, I was. Like, it was kind of crazy. Every single shot Grant hit, I was just like, I was really happy about it. But with that being said, dude, everyone loved you. And they just freaking, like, they ate it up. They were like, this guy's got to be, which is very funny to me, thinking back to this. I remember one of the main comments I saw was, this guy Grant's got to be Phil Mickelson's long-lost son.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody was saying that.
Yeah. That's actually true.
Everybody.
I haven't even thought about that till right now, because I remember going through that comment section. That was like my first YouTube video I was ever in. So I'm reading like every comment and I'm living and dying by it.
Right.
And like they were all positive. It was all about the bromance. But it was crazy coming out to Dallas though with Jacob to film that video and then see the reaction, because we did play Call of Duty a lot even leading up to that. Like, we were playing
a lot of
Warzone off camera, so we were still talking a bunch. And yeah, it was just really cool to see the response on that. And I think that's what sparked a lot of the things.
That sparked the conversation. Mm-hmm. I was still nervous because I was like, if I ever do anything with Grant, like, people are actually going to think I have a crush on this guy, like, based off the response on the first episode. Mm-hmm. But we ended up working it out. And I want to mention one thing that I feel like, I don't know if you've talked about. One thing that you told me prior to coming down, like, more full time and doing YouTube golf, was that if it wasn't for YouTube golf, you were going to start like a car wash company or whatever it was after college. Because prior to meeting me, you probably didn't have plans of freaking moving to Texas.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
And I remember you mentioning that. I just thought that was the coolest thing. Like, you were already thinking of like starting this business, and you already kind of had like the business mindset, if you will. Mm-hmm. And I just thought that was cool. I don't know.
Yeah, it was me and my buddy Ryan. We were thinking about starting a car wash, looking into that. I was looking into something with boats. Like, my mind never stopped. Like, I was like, I got to figure out what I'm going to do. And then I remember like posting some TikTok, some instructional ones. And that's when my brain really got going. And then I'm like, I remember working my job, writing down a million different ideas for like golf content.
Right. Well, I remember. So you did the spray one. Remember, you put the spray. Was it on the club face?
Yeah.
Was it shoe spray or what was that?
It was foot spray.
Foot spray.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you did a TikTok video.
Yeah.
And it was. I think that was right before we did the 2v2.
You're right.
You and Jacob versus me and Micah.
Yeah.
And it got like 72,000 likes.
Yeah, that's how I met my wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Dude, you were wearing your freaking little necklace with a tooth hanging down, looking like a freaking surfer boy.
Yeah, the foot spray video. That was the first one that really went. Because I remember walking into CVS and I'm like, I got this idea. Like, I remember I saw a video a long time ago. If you spray foot spray on your club face and you hit it with your driver, you'll see where your contact is. And I was like, that's got to do well. And I remember, this was a crazy story. I remember that video. It had 1 million views in, I think, like a day, and it was really popping. And I go out to a restaurant that evening, and this person comes up to me, and they're like,
"No way!"
Yeah, this person comes up and was like, "I just saw your video on TikTok." It was the first time like ever getting recognized in public, and I was like, "What the heck? Like, this is nuts!" It was
gotta
one
be
video too.
crazy to think back
but
to.
yeah, my brain, like, I just remember working my job and like I had like a whole notes section. It's probably still in there. It's deep in there of just like video ideas and like.
What
just
did you do
kept
for
going.
work at the time?
I was working at a golf course.
Were
in
you
the
like
car
on
barn.
the range or
Yeah,
car barn?
on
Car
the
barn.
range, and I remember we did a video out at that golf course with Hogan
And
Kyle
Kyle
Berkshire. Yeah, so you came out to Florida, and yeah, that was wild. It all feels like a blur.
Asher is, I swear. Guys, you know that he's literally a clout chaser. He's just chewing this bone down there.
Because he wants to be in the video.
Bro just wants
He had his nose through the door.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
But why is he?
His nose
He's just trying to get in the video. Because why is he trying to come in here? He's got his bone. Like, you can eat your bone out there.
Yeah, he knows. He wants his Instagram follower to go up. Asher Clark.
Yeah, Asher_. Anyways, but so that is an interesting thing you talking about, like working at a golf course. I think that's
Yeah.
cool that like you've done the whole thing. Like you did college, you went through that. You were considering starting a car wash company. You worked at a golf course, and then now rise to where you're at now
Yeah.
in the YouTube world. When was it? So, because I do want to ask this, like we initially when we first talked, it was. You're coming to Dallas to, I know the conversation was like, let's do GM golf stuff. There was never a good in the initial conversation. This is what I actually don't think has ever been said online.
Right.
There was never a conversation of you doing good.
Right.
It was literally like, we're going to do GM golf together.
100%.
But I remember when I was talking to you, you were so like ready. You were so ready for it. And you were like, not wanting to graduate. You were like, I'm there. I'm just coming now. And I'm like, dude, you have a couple months left. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Just wait.
Yeah, if we rewind that just a little bit, I remember the day you asked me if I wanted to come to Dallas to do GM golf with you, because that's how everything started. Like you said, it was not like, hey, do you want to come be a part of Good? It was, hey, do you want to come do GM golf? I remember exactly where I was because I was freaking out. I was on the highway, driving home late from college, and you called me and you're like, would you want to do this? And I was like, oh my gosh. But I remember I tried to play it cool. I was like, let me check. Let me check.
Let me check my schedule.
Let me check with my people.
Let me check with my people.
But yeah, I remember that. And then, so I remember moving out to Dallas as well. And it was just you and I doing GM golf. There was no Good, but it was just kind of weird because I was living in the Good house. And you guys were going on good trips, but I'm just like chilling there. Like, all right, see you guys. Like, you guys went on like one trip without me, I think.
Yeah, I think it was literally one.
And the next one, I just like somehow like
It
joined.
just happened, which is also a crazy story that I want to get into in a little bit. But yeah, kind of like the development of YouTube. I think it was cool to see because initially, obviously, knowing the fans' response to you, like with that first video, it kind of just made sense. I remember I talked to Steve. I asked Steve specifically. I was like, should I ask Grant if he wants to like come do YouTube? And it was not even like, I wasn't thinking super thoroughly. I just felt as if you were good on camera, we vibed well, and we were good friends. So we might as well just film, right?
Right.
And obviously one thing led to another, and now people still talk about the Grant and Garrett, Saturday matches, the road trip, and things that, like, looking back on it, I feel as though it's kind of not, I wouldn't say paved the way, but in a sense, like, it's like, it feels like the beginning stages of YouTube golf to me.
For sure.
Because that's when things started really, really changing.
Yeah.
For me and for us.
I think even us signing with Mizuno, let's say, okay, I would say like the only other person that really signed like a full club deal. I guarantee like Rick Shields and Peter Finch could have. They were unbiased though.
Yeah, they wanted to take the
but like
standpoint.
maybe I guess George. But that was, I remember George saying that it was like through like a tour thing, and it was a little bit different because he technically was still on like tour. I would say like an influencer club deal, strictly. The Mizuno thing with you and I was like,
that was wild.
I think that was the first like true influencer, because that was like a big deal. I remember us signing with Mizuno, and it was like kind of like a joint thing.
Yep.
and it was just like a really big deal at the time because it was very new, and Mizuno took a leap of faith with us as well.
Sure did.
And yeah, our games, it was lightning in a bottle too. And our games, like our matches, you would beat me a lot, and then I would beat you, and it would just go back and forth.
Well, there was one thing, like I felt like I was slightly better at match play because I could be aggressive. So
Yeah.
if we played match play, like strategically, I was like, let's make those Saturday matches match play.
Yeah.
But then if we played stroke play, I knew I'd get destroyed because you were always going to shoot even par, 1 over, 1 under, 2 under, and I would shoot like an 89 probably or friggin' 82. And then randomly shoot like a 64.
Dude, we had so many good matches. I got to go back and like watch all the old Saturday matches.
It's crazy to think though, like one thing that I do want to mention, and I was talking about it today, but it's funny to see where YouTube golf started and where YouTube golf is.
Yeah.
'Cause if you think back to the Saturday matches, all you really needed to do was just upload a 1v1 9-hole match play.
Yeah.
It could be a 6-hole match.
Right.
I remember we had a video last 6 holes.
Yeah.
And it was still sick.
And now they're all like, at least on my channel, it's all like hour long. It's like, where did the little like 20-minute?
Dude, if you upload a video under 30 minutes
Yeah.
in YouTube Golf now, you just chalk it up for a loss.
And it's interesting. 'Cause you were
No-
uploading like 4 times a week though. Yeah. You was like the Wild West. You had no competition.
There was
like
no
3
competition.
people.
That's so true. That is so true.
It's so different now in like thumbnails and titles and everything. We can go down that rabbit hole, but it's just such a different world than it was. Like even thumbnails back then, like going to look at what they used to look like and just the editing
Yeah.
and everything. It was more like comedic.
It's so crazy to think
Yeah.
about. It is so crazy. So what would you say, like, speaking of like thumbnails and YouTube and stuff like that, 2 questions. Number 1, when did you feel like you were for sure this was full time, like you're going headfirst into YouTube golf? Would you say it was when I called you?
Yeah.
And I also want you to kind of mention on pro golf too, and
Yeah.
where you feel like that changed, because I know every kid that's going to college golf probably has some sort of aspiration to go pro.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so when you asked me to go out to Dallas, my initial focus was GM Golf. But I did start my personal channel. I had the name and everything ready to go. When I was at working my job, I was writing down video ideas on like all the matches we could do together and different things. And yeah, I just remember starting it right when I got to the Good House, but it was still like full GM focus. Like, what can we do with GM Golf? Like our Saturday matches. I knew that was starting, and so I was just so fired up about that. It was crazy too because we used to film each other. Like I remember it was like we didn't even have anybody with us.
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild to think that's what YouTube golf was and now what it is.
Yeah,
There's the high production, the movie style cameras almost.
Yeah.
Borderline. It's like watching a good production / a Grant Horvat production is crazy in comparison to just handheld.
yeah,
We'd zoom in on each other.
yeah. Wild.
Well, so did you ever want, or would you? I'll ask 2 questions here. No, but would you ever consider playing pro golf for content or whatever it may be? Would you consider? I went back to Q school or something like that,
I would.
or I went to Q school.
Yeah, I would.
Really?
Yeah, I would. I
didn't know the
definitely,
answer to this question.
No, I have thought about potentially playing in something. Yeah, the PGA Tour invite was definitely a wild thing that happened. And so, yeah, I really liked playing in the Corn Ferry event with Kozan. That was really cool. Getting a little taste there, and then obviously the Crater Classic was really wild to me because I didn't think I would be able to do something like that. I just thought I would get too nervous.
Yeah.
And I just remember making the putt at the Crater Classic, and that to me, like that felt like in that moment that felt like the Masters. Like there's nothing else.
How many
there's
fans
people.
were there? At the-
Oh, on the first tee there was 1,000 some. Yeah,
It's gotta
there's
be
a
more.
lot. Yeah,
Probably
there's
more.
a lot of
There's
people.
Probably 3,000-4,000.
Yeah, it was packed on the first tee, and I was the most nervous I've ever been, and just going down to the final hole like that and making the putt to win it, to me that felt like I won the Masters in that moment.
Yeah. Well,
and-
it was insane. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like also going up against Wesley and George. I play with them all the time, and I beat them 1 out of every you know, 8 times we play, 9 times.
How many times would you say you beat them? Like actually, like
They're
how many times
so-
have you beat them in a major cut?
So I single-handedly beat George and Wes and the Augusta National Women's Amateur one that we did at Champions Retreat. I beat them both for 2
And
days
at Pinehurst,
straight.
right? Did you beat them at Pinehurst?
Pinehurst, I came in second.
Oof.
I beat Wesley, but other than that, no. They're like, because it's 2 rounds, putting 2 rounds together, and they're both insane. Like you just, yeah. I don't think other than, I mean, I definitely have beat Wesley or George in like a bunch of like 1 round, just like one rounds. But other than that, I mean, they're that good. So it's really tricky. But yeah, the Creator Classic was just like really weird. But back to your question, pro golf and truly pursuing it, no. I don't think that'll ever be a thing. But playing in some events, I could see myself doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would be, but like there's some tournaments, like I know Luke Kwan does the Asian tour. I would like to dabble and just like see what happens,
Yeah.
you know. But
Like a standard 4-round tournament.
Yeah.
See if you can make the cut.
I think it's great content, but I also just want to like see what my body feels like, because I used to do it, so it's not like it's completely foreign. It's just, yeah, it is a big, like, it's a grind, you know. And those people are out there. The one thing that, you know, when we're filming a video and we're out with these guys competing, it was really interesting because when I said no to the PGA Tour invite, the amount of crazy tweets that I saw and just people saying like, to think that this guy could bring his whole camera crew out there, to think like all this. The last thing I want to do, and I'm even thinking about it right now, is like if I'm paired with somebody that's like doing this for a living and is giving it their all and, you know, is trying to provide for their family, the last thing I want to do is distract them by having cameras. We don't do that. Like I have one guy and he's like outside the ropes with a camera. Like it would just be Sky. Yeah. And so, yeah, I just want to make sure that we're always keeping it really discreet in those. But
well, I think that's a good point for you to bring up, because I think that was a misinterpretation by a lot of people online.
Yeah.
Is everybody assumed that because there's high quality YouTube golf videos, you have this big crew.
Yeah.
But you don't. Like, you have Sky, and Sky is a small human being. Like, he's not big.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he would fly under the radar.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
So I feel like that's a very misinterpreted thing by a lot of people.
Yeah, and I haven't even spoke on it until I think right now. I think it happened 24, 48 hours of chaos, and then we never talked about it.
I thought that was very interesting. I didn't think that was going to get that much of an uproar, if I'm being honest. I mean, maybe because you're so in the public light now, but
I think it was because it was very broad. It was not necessarily me. It was YouTube golfer declines PGA Tour invite.
Yeah.
That was the main title. It was YouTube golfer declines PGA Tour invite.
So one thing that I did say to defend you, because Paige asked me this question on her video, and one thing that I said to defend you is I think that a lot of people online assume because it's a lot of people's dream to play in a PGA Tour event and a lot of people's end goal, which is very normal. I mean, a lot of us grew up dreaming of doing that one day. Mm-hmm. Obviously, now in the position that you're in, your dream is not to become a pro golfer. Yeah, sure, you wouldn't mind playing an event or two like you've talked about.
Yeah.
But that is no longer your dream. Your dream has been fulfilled. Like, you are living out your dream.
Right.
Doing YouTube golf. This is what you want to do. Mm-hmm. It's what you do for a living. And I'm sure there's a multitude of reasons why you didn't do it, but
that's another.
At the end of the day, like, that's not something that, and also, like, you go play in that event, like, who knows? You could be taking somebody's spot. Like, I don't know. There's so many different things that I didn't look at that ever and think that was a stupid decision, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, we definitely would have done it if they were like, hey, yeah, go film it. We would have done it. I would have been playing in a PGA Tour event. However, the amount of people that thought it was like wrong. I think what wasn't communicated, and it's hard to communicate that, is that it was never my dream to be a pro golfer. Yeah. So that's where it was really tricky to communicate that, because I just made my statement. It was very, hey, they won't allow us to film, so it's not even going to work moving forward. But also it wasn't something where I was like, I just want to do it for the experience.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a desire. That's like not my dream to play in a PGA Tour event. It's just not. I do enjoy competing. I love playing in videos for, you know, playing for money and stuff like that. I think it's super fun, but it's the environment of.
Well, you
the
enjoy
super
filming.
scene.
Like
Yeah.
your thing is now doing YouTube, and obviously if somebody asks you to come do this, like, and they also tell you, hey, you're not going to be allowed to film.
Right. Because then it's just the competitive aspect.
I thought your response made a lot of sense. It's like, what's the reason I got here? Obviously, the reason I got here is YouTube,
Yeah.
and they're not going to allow me to do YouTube, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to sacrifice that. The first time that you want to do it, you want your natural, you want your raw reaction to be on camera, because that is you. That is literally what you do for a living.
Right.
That's what got you to that point.
Right.
You should at least be able to have one camera on you. Obviously, you don't want them to twist the rules just for you and whatever, treat you different. The one thing that I'll relate it to is like for Brad, for example.
Yeah.
Brad Dahlke, his whole dream, his whole life is to play professional golf.
Right.
So if Brad were to get offered a sponsor's exemption and was told not to film, Brad would accept that offer.
100%.
There's
And
the
he
difference.
should, though, because he's also
Exactly.
probably going to make the cut right now.
Exactly. So I'm saying there's
Yeah.
the difference,
Yeah.
right? You're not gonna,
I know I'm going to miss the cut. Like, the nerves and the just hype leading up to it, I'm going to be happy to shoot 2 mid 70 rounds. Like if I shoot a 75 and like a 72 or something, 75, 73, in that range, that nervous, that much riding on it, I would be really happy. And like I don't play competitive golf, and I know like controlling the adrenaline and doing all that, it's a whole nother world. It's not the same. It just is not the same as going out and filming a normal video. Like it is a whole different world out there. And yeah, I definitely
tournament golf. is
Yeah,
different.
but like Brad Dahlke, 100%. He gets a PGA Tour invite. Even if he can't film it, he should. Dude, he can go win the thing right now. His game at the Internet Invitational was insane. So it's like, I mean, he's like, there's no difference. I mean, he can go compete with anyone right now.
Oh yeah, he could put 4 rounds together at 68,
Dude,
or
hits it
better.
so far, hits it on a string. It's like, yeah.
The Brad Dahlke glaze right now on the internet.
It was
is
insane.
Actually
I've never seen him hit the ball, though.
You've never seen it
No.
in person?
No.
Still to this day.
Never seen him.
Wow. Okay, so we're going to talk about one thing, and then I'm actually going to have Matt Scharf join us.
Okay.
For the last
Oh,
segment
boy.
of the pod, because we're going to talk about good, which
Okay.
is obviously what probably a lot of people want to hear about. But I do want to talk about one thing. So initial plan, you come down to Dallas, you want to do GM golf, and that was like the thing. We both were just like, let's do GM golf, and then you launch your personal channel, whatever. We go on a good week, we come back, and then we decide to go on another good week, probably a few weeks later, and it's to Vegas. But we only had 5 of us. And I remember in this moment, I was talking to Colin Max. I was like, dude, who's going to be our 6th? Like, who's going to be our 6th? Because at the time, we were having Kyle Berkshire come, and he wasn't coming to Vegas. We were like, we need a 6th. We can't have an odd number. Like, I guess you could bring Grant. And I was like, yeah, but, like, I don't want to make him do that or whatever. And we had this long conversation, me, Colin, and Max. Then I remember I asked if you wanted to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
So you come to Vegas, first good week, and I just remember like I had never seen a positive response like that to somebody, a guest that had been on the channel, because what happened was we got to Vegas and day 1, I was so sick.
Yeah.
I remember all the comments were saying I was hungover. I didn't even drink at that moment of my life. Like I wasn't drinking. I was literally just deathly ill. I was so sick.
And we were roommates too, and you're like coughing, and it was
Oh my
so
God.
bad. I'm like, I'm gonna get sick.
And you didn't.
didn't get
Somehow
sick.
you didn't get sick,
I know.
which is insane to think about. But I'm like held up in the room, and you essentially like kind of took my spot for the first day.
Yeah.
Still to this day, that's some of the only good videos that I've missed unintentionally for like something.
Yeah.
I think I've literally I've missed under 5 good videos that I was not supposed to miss.
Yeah.
And those were 3 of them
That's crazy.
in my entire life.
That's crazy to think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting because I knew Matt and Steve and Bubby like very briefly.
Yeah.
But I just go down there to like get thrown right into it in Vegas on like the first hole, and I'm like, and Micah was there, and I
Yeah.
don't really know them yet. Like you were the only one that I was like, I
Yeah.
felt like I was like, I'm confident around, and I can hang with. And yeah, I just remember that first video. It was crazy. It was so much fun. I wonder how many subscribers did Good Good have back?
Probably 200-300K.
Yeah.
It was not many. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a very
Crazy.
minuscule amount, maybe 300K.
Yeah.
It's insane to think about. But that was like your first Good Good week, technically.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I remember it went from, hey, let's do GM Golf to now Grant's going to run our teaching channel.
Yeah.
And Grant was running our teaching channel for the longest time. But he was also in Good Good videos, and then it just got to the point where it's like, all right, Grant's just in Good Good now.
Yeah, that was a weird, but like
Very weird.
It wasn't that easy. I can talk about this now because it's
Yeah,
like
you can talk
enough
about it.
time has passed. But it's like, it was really weird becoming a part of Good Good because I just remember like it was like you were advocating for me, and
Yes.
then like there's other people that were like, he's just like a substitute, and like some people would not acknowledge that I was like a part of Good Good. So then we had to.
I remember that, dude. Wait, I can't wait for Sharp to get on here.
Yeah, Sharp was a tough
Dude,
one.
do you
Sharp was a
remember
tough
you
one.
thought Sharp hated you for the
Oh
longest
my gosh!
time?
If the paddle video, Sharp was screaming at me the whole video too.
Dude, wait, this is gonna be good. We're gonna get Sharp in here soon.
It was funny for like the first like 30 minutes of the video, and then by like the end of it, I think he was like actually getting mad at me, and I was like, dude, I don't know what to do right now.
You're terrified.
I was terrified. Yeah, he was freaking out, like screaming. Like Matt Sharp is completely different than he used. Like Matt Sharp 3 years ago,
He was
4
intense.
years ago, nuts.
Very.
Nuts. Off the rails. Like when I remember when we first met, he was filming for his channel. Nuts. But it was hilarious. There's no one truly that I've laughed harder at in my life than Matt Sharp.
You
doing
do always
intros.
laugh at Matt.
He's one of the funny.
It's
great
good.
that we have him joining in a second. But it was really weird trying to become a part of Good Good. And even the podcast, like Grant's joining Good Good, it was still like... I really think it was like the most comfortable thing. It was in like
It was not.
Kansas City, and you're like
In my basement.
Yeah, like all right, guys. So like, Grant's a part of Good Good. We're all gonna like say it. Like you were like trying to tell everybody.
But it was literally like, it wasn't like at the time it was just like Grant's just a part of Good Good. Like
Yeah.
there was no official, it was just like, yeah, Grant's a part of Good Good.
right.
It's oh my gosh.
But it was
dude.
just so
Good Good was so in its infancy. Like
Yeah.
it was so young. I don't think anybody knew what we were doing, to be honest.
Yeah.
We were just, I mean, we launched a
But
podcast.
it was working. Whatever was like, it didn't matter because like anything we did was working. So it did.
The nonsense, whatever it was, the crazy, like, dude, we launched a podcast and had absolutely no plan for it.
Yeah.
No studio, nothing.
Yeah.
No plan.
Yeah.
And we were just like,
Is this
yeah.
the same channel that was the original Good Good
Yes.
podcast? Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Because I remember that started. You must have deleted there.
Yeah, we deleted a lot.
Oh, okay. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was like, there's only like 4 videos, dude.
Yeah, there was a lot more.
Okay, I was like, that's the quickest growth to 100K.
Yeah, imagine. All right, with that being said, though, we're going to have Matt Sharp join us, and we're going to finish this podcast up talking about some good stuff.
Now let's get into the real stuff. Now that he's here,
Now let's get to the real stuff. You guys have been joking around the entire time until I'm here, and now this is when we get legit.
we're good now.
Yeah.
Let's get into the real deal.
All right.
now. Oh boy.
Perfect. All right, well, we're joined by Matt as well now.
Oh boy.
Oh, could you be more excited, Garrett?
All right, we just lost half of that.
All right, everybody they all unsubscribed and disliked this podcast.
I've been working so hard, bro. I'm just kidding. I don't care. I don't care. Anyway.
Dude, it's like OG Matt right now.
Yeah.
This is-
Well, you mentioned
That.
about there, and I just thought I'd bring it back in for
Dude,
you.
bring it back. I'm ready for it.
Okay, well, Grant, I want to, from your perspective, kind of talk through, beginning stages of good, obviously, thinking that you're not welcomed by some people. Sure. And,
that definitely has never been said before.
No,
yeah,
that is not.
not
That's getting
being-
clipped everywhere. Matt hated Grant. Oh my gosh. I didn't. I came off super intense, and I think that intensity came off as me not liking Grant. And I remember Garrett confronted me about it, actually. He confronted me and said, hey, Matt, like, you got to figure this thing out with Grant because Grant thinks that you hate him and, like, it's ruining our relationship and we just can't have that. You got to figure it out. And I was like, oh, no. And so that's when I, like, told him, like,
thanks
hey.
for doing that.
Yeah,
I got you,
because he
bro.
needed it. He
Don't
needed
worry.
that bad. And I went up to you. I remember I was like, "Hey, like, just want to let you know, I don't hate you. I just come off super intense.
I remember
but,
exactly where we were. We were at Garrett's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just so you
That
know,
was after the paddle video.
Yeah. When I got that information from Garrett, it kind of like it sunk my heart really hard because I was like, dude, I don't want this. I don't want this guy to think I hate him. I don't. I'm just super intense with everybody.
Yeah.
And that's on me. Hand up to accountability. Hand up accountability there.
There it is. There he is.
That's me. That's on me.
All right. Anyways, let's ask Grant some questions now. This is all right.
See, that's what I'm talking about, man. I like the big old white teeth. He be smiling. He loves it.
Okay.
Ew.
All right. Here we go.
All right. This is the Grant Horvat interview.
Okay. All right, Horvat. Here we go.
This is how Matt has changed. Interview.
Yeah.
This is actually about Sharp. All right, so you accidentally joined Good, which is like kind of crazy how it just like happened.
Yeah.
But I do want us to kind of talk about and like reminisce a little bit because I feel like that was peak. I kind of want to talk about peak Good, right? Because everyone talks about peak Good as like a staple for YouTube golf, right? It's Micah, Grant, and me, Matt, Steve, and Bubby, right?
Yeah. I think there was a lot of factors that I would say that made it that way. I think one was that comes to my mind first was Mike and Bubby.
Great beef.
Really just, always kind of going at each other. I looked forward to that in the Gugu weeks. That was like the highlight of the week would be them arguing. And we won't say about what, but they were arguing about some crazy stuff. And then, yeah, there was just, it was really, from every angle you look at it, you and I had our competition. We had that going on. You had Matt making hole-in-ones. And then you had Bubby, who brought in like a different crowd. Steve as well brought in a different crowd. It was just like, yeah, it was every element to
like
bring
a
in
perfect
different
storm.
audiences. Yeah. And I think that's what golf, if we were all like the same and we were all very similar, it wouldn't have worked. I think it was because some were more rough and then others were like, I guess me,
Yeah.
scared to speak.
Yeah. You started to open up, though. You started to open up. I mean, Garrett was quiet, and Steven was quiet, but you guys have slowly started to open up. I feel like everybody kind of...
Yeah,
and
you're going the other way.
I was like, there.
You're closing down.
Sharp's just wide open 24/7.
Wide open, busted wide open. So they had to shun me down a little bit, which it's worked. I mean, I can't keep that high energy for YouTube for that long. Like, it just starts to wear me down.
Can we get a replay of when Sharp just walked into
the room?
And then, give me 1 second, Matt. Let me make sure your audio's on.
Right? I gotta sit in the middle, so I'm gonna do this the whole time.
After he just said, "Can't keep this high energy."
I can. It's a thing. It's a switch that I have to turn on now. It's weird.
Yeah.
I can sometimes turn it on if I have great night's sleep. I can turn it on. I can do it.
Okay, so I kind of want to touch on something real quick. Like Pete Good was actually insane, but I feel like we were going, and no one was like ever really thinking. We were just filming, and we were just like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy! Everyone loves this." At what point in time did you feel like Good became too much, and you felt like, you know what, I'm considering, figuring this out, like whatever that meant for you?
Yeah, I don't think it was ever that it was too much. There definitely was a lot of travel, but I think that, I don't know, there was that passion that I had for my personal channel, and certain golf videos that I wanted to film that were highly competitive. And then obviously going into like Callaway comes along, I came in late, not having any real stake in the company. And so that was also an interesting time because it was a big deal. Callaway was a big deal for Good. And so I had to make a decision that was very quick. And so, yeah, it was definitely, I mean, dude, even like thinking back to it, it's like, it was so wild that it's like, I feel like I blocked a lot of it out, like I remember it happened, but I'm just like, that's like so far in the past now. But yeah, it was very quick, but I was still, at the time, I was very passionate about my personal channel. I remember that. And I was like, I think I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to keep going. hard and full force. And so, yeah, crazy time for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have anything to say. I mean, yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I mean, maybe selfishly, I wish I could have talked to you and found a way to keep you to stay, of course. I think that's just me just wanting to be around you more. I guess just wanted to keep you in good. But
Yeah.
I just don't think that myself, I guess for me personally, I just don't know if there was anything that, like when I started to see it happening and then we brought up the Callaway deal and then that kind of, I feel like I could see it kind of pushing you back a little bit. And I was like, oh no, did we do something to set him off or whatever? And I feel like I could see that pretty easily. And I think just looking back at it now, I just selfishly wish I could have done something to keep you to stay, but
Yeah.
you know,
Hey, well, I
that's a
appreciate
selfish thing, of course. And
No.
you've made the decision now and it's obviously worked out for you tenfold. So I'm glad it happened that way, but yeah.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, it was, like I said, I mean, it was very quick. I mean, we all know that.
Yeah.
Like, we know that the way that was structured and the way everything happened, it was very quick. And I wouldn't say that's anyone's fault. Like, that just happened to go good. Like, Callaway came, and that was the way it all worked out. But it definitely, it probably created that little...
That was like the first inkling in your brain of like,
Well, yeah, it was like, hey, this is long term, and I don't necessarily have a plan. It was more like, hey, like, what am I gonna do? I gotta think long term here, and I'm locking myself in. And I remember at the time there too, it was the first time I really got going on my personal channel. Like, it was multiple videos back to back to back to back that were like starting to hit, and I was like getting confident in that too at the time. And so, yeah, there's just a lot of factors, but
it almost like timed up right.
Yeah.
Is what it's like, this happened, you're doing kind of well over here. So it kind of makes sense. But also, like, I don't know, it's an interesting thing to think back to, because I remember initially it was hard for everyone involved, right? Very hard for everyone involved. But I feel like you and I have mended our relationship and did pretty quickly, actually. Like, after, it wasn't like this crazy breakup that I know everyone wanted it to be. I think everyone really wanted it to be super dramatic and like depressing, and like there was so much drama going on. It obviously sucked. Like, no one enjoyed that situation. Yeah. You were receiving hate, and then we were receiving hate, and then it was just like this whole thing. I don't think anyone really wanted that. So I do want to kind of just like, I know that this is so far in the past. If we're doing a podcast,
but I will say this
expect
is the
us to touch
first
on
time we're like bringing in intricate details.
Yeah.
Like, before, like, I've never, if I get asked about it to this day, and so it's like I don't ever go into like actual like Callaway deal or say those types of words. So yeah, I feel like it's easier here to like go into like more of the details.
Yeah, I mean, we're all grown adults. Like, we can talk about this, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what it's here for. But I don't know. I did just want to say I felt like it was very quickly that the relationship was able to mend. Like, I think it was less than 2 months that we were already talking, at least you and I don't know about you two, but like at least you and I were already talking on the phone again, like, you know, talking about YouTube and stuff. And like, so
I would say the three of us in this room made up the quickest.
I feel like I was still talking to you.
Yeah. You definitely
honestly.
were. And yeah, it was definitely, I mean, some people take longer to process things, some people, and now I can officially say like it's totally like in the past. I don't think anybody even thinks about it anymore. I think we've reached the time now where, and also like even touching on this right now, it's like, we've floated around the idea of doing this reunion, which is something that is going to be really cool. Getting Mike involved too, like the OG 6, and filming some content. We do have some plans, which is going to be nuts. Like, I don't know how it's going to go. I just want to let it roll. I just want to let it fly, and whatever happens.
You know there's going to be something crazy.
Oh, just imagine another hole-in-one.
We
together collectively as a group did it.
We made another hole-in-one. No, I agree though. It's gonna be cool. I think we should do, like, I would be curious to see if people would want to see it, but I want to do a Stumps vs. Twigs, a knockout, and then like we could do a major or something. I feel like that'd be crazy.
Stumps vs. Twigs, knockout, and then
hit the big three.
Yeah, we got to hit the big three.
Dude, I
We
remember
gotta
I
hit
was
the big
so
three.
big into stroke play even.
Oh my god.
Gosh, I want to do a major with y'all so bad. Like that was like the one thing when I was
Always.
just early stages of good. I was like, when can we do a major?
Yeah.
I just want to do a major. And Bubby was like, 18 holes,
I ain't
stroke
doing
play.
that.
I ain't doing that.
I ain't doing it.
He didn't want to do it. Like he just didn't want to play 18 holes.
I got no chance, dog.
yeah.
Dog, front tees. I got no chance, dog. Oh, that's hilarious.
So what's that been like though? Because I think it's been really cool for all of us to see, and then everyone at home has been seeing. It's like now Grant Horvat's the king of YouTube golf. I think it's really cool because
Golden boy. They'd be calling him. They love calling you that. Invitational, that's like all I heard.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a golden boy.
Yeah, Bob.
I was like,
think
oh, the golden
yeah.
child's running across the path.
He's
there,
like
man.
an
Look at him.
elusive creature.
Yeah.
That's funny. But what's that all been like? Because it happened very quick. Honestly, I know maybe for you it didn't feel that way, but post good, I feel like you hit, and then all of a sudden every video you dropped was just a banger. Which I gotta say one thing: it is respect to you. You were in a tough spot. Obviously, this happens, and you take a leap of faith on yourself, and obviously it worked out in a big way.
Yeah.
So we have to address that. Like, what has that? You know, and then I would also like for you guys to talk about one more thing, because I know you're going to probably speak about it, but your faith and how that's impacted everything. Because I know Sharf has also had a big impact on your life with the Lord and whatnot.
For sure. We'll touch on that. Ray, I will say, so initially after making like the good I'm leaving video, I remember posting a couple of videos and like they weren't that hot. Like there's like 2 or 3, and that's when I was like, oh boy, here we go, back against the wall. Let's go. And I remember me and Tig had we were in the same house, and I just remember I made a decision, especially when Sky was in the picture, that like we were going to upload less and we're going to only upload great videos just to get momentum, and we were going to create our own momentum, because we like, if we're not uploading bad videos, you're not going to lose momentum if you keep upping the standard on every video. So I remember making that decision, but it was going to require a ton of travel, because I told Sky, I was like, I'm going to travel and we're going to make every video the best we possibly can. And it's going to require good guests. Like I want to do some really cool videos with pros, because that's where I have a lot of passion, is playing with other high level golfers. Like I just feel like it's a natural thing. It's a lot of fun. They do well. People like to see pro golfers. And so, yeah, that was a big thing. Just less videos. Don't upload as much. It's not about that. It's what you're uploading. And let's make sure that everybody's excited for the next video. And so, yeah, that was really big. And then obviously, fast forward everything over the last couple of years, crazy. And then I would say the craziest thing was Phil. Starting the 2v2 series with Phil was like that. Yeah, that was
pretty crazy.
That was the one where it didn't feel real. Just getting to hang with him, and then all the guests, even doing you and Bryson and John Daly and all those guys. It's been so cool doing that, and like what's to come in the future, I don't even know. It's going to be really fun. So, but yeah, the Phil moment too was like, that one didn't make sense. That was the one that was the hardest. Was like, dude, it's Phil Mickelson. Like, what is? Like I was, Sky and I talk about it. Where like, is Phil just gonna like snap out of it one of these times and be like, dude, I'm Phil Mickelson.
What am I doing?
What am I doing here?
Yeah. What am I doing?
How did we get here?
But no, he loves it, and he's so good at it. He's so good on camera. So, but yeah, it's really crazy to see.
Phil has a phenomenal YouTube personality.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Very
obviously
good.
got such a great on-course personality in all the majors he's won, but like, saw him on YouTube, I was like, dude, this guy's got something.
Yeah, he's funny.
It's fun to watch. Those series were fun.
It was cool when we got to do that 2v2 with Bryson and Garrett, because that one you could feel like that was like people wanted.
That was intense.
I love like there's nothing better than getting a video and like people are excited to see it and you're ready to drop it.
About those pods on 15 and 16.
That was intense. Yeah, it was real intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, throughout all that, for sure, touching on faith, that's something even throughout that whole situation and moving forward, that's been the top thing for me, is just like a lot of prayer, a lot of relying on the Lord for the next step, and just asking for wisdom, because it was, I mean, yeah, just during all that, it was a dark time. And so I feel like I was the closest to God in those moments, when it was the toughest, versus like, and I do feel it when you're on like the mountaintop, but you feel it way more in the low areas. Like you really get close because you surrender everything. And you're like, you know what, I could lose it all. So definitely felt the closest in those moments. And you do feel it in, like I said, you do feel it at the peaks too. You give the glory to God. But I will say, yeah, it did change me. And faith has always been a huge part of my life. And seeing you talk about your faith out loud, really cool to see. Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've shared a little bit to you guys about, I guess, kind of how I got into my journey, and it started with you, which is pretty awesome. I was just a freaking mess, and it was when we did the first ever Good Cup, and we stayed in that freaking big house, and we had that photo shoot thing, and all our girls and stuff came down, and they were setting up photo shoot. It was a whole thing, and it was the first Good Cup ever. Oh, great! Oh, and then yeah, I was a massive mess, and the nearest gas station was like a 15-minute drive, if you remember that. It was so far, like there was nothing around us. And I had said something super negative about myself out loud, and we're all like getting ready to go in the car, and I say it or whatever, and Grant was walking in front of me, and I was behind him, and I said it, and then Grant like stops and he like turns around and looks at me. He's like, "What did you just say?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "Don't say that about yourself. Don't say that." And I was like taken aback in that moment because no one had really confronted me about it, because we all just do that. We all just say negative things about ourselves. And then you were like, "Dude, like, why are you saying this about yourself? That's you can't be doing that. Negative talk is it's a powerful thing, the brain." And you were saying all this stuff, and I feel like in that moment you maybe didn't realize it, but I feel like the Holy Spirit was just like, it just took over, and it was just speaking through Grant, and it was telling me exactly what I needed to hear. And then we just talked about Jesus for 30 minutes. And you were like, how's your faith? Like, what's your relationship with Jesus look like? And I was just never had been asked this question before. Yeah. And it was really weird for me. And then that was like the catalyst that like drove me to, all these crazy things happen in my life. And that was a trip that we were literally about to go to Greece and propose to our girls. Yeah. And I had lost my passport. Maddie couldn't find it. And I remember I shared this story, and I was just like, dude, I'm not going to go. I want to marry this girl. We have this whole fun trip planned. They've been spending so much time on it, and I'm about to ruin it because I can't find my flipping passport. And I'm 900 miles away from Maddie. Yeah. I remember. And I remember that night I surrendered myself to the Lord and called Maddie and said, hey, I'm going to buy a plane ticket and fly out, find the passport, and come back later that day so I can do the photo shoot. Yeah. Found the passport 2 minutes and bawled on my floor for 30 minutes, and then drove back to the airport and did the photo shoot.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's right amazing. When I landed, I found it in 2 minutes. It was, and that was the moment, like I said, the catalyst that just drove me, all the way to, now here. Yeah. But for sure. Yeah, that's amazing. I remember that. That was a wild time. You didn't know it. Like, you didn't know that, oh, I'm going to say this thing to Matt and this is going to change his life forever. You're just like, like, get a grip, dude. I remember that bus ride. Small moment literally has changed my entire life and my perception on everything. Crazy. It's insane. Crazy, man. Yeah. And I mean, even you and I, Garrett, even when we first started talking, I remember we talked about that. Like, I was very new in my journey, going to a Christian college, but not necessarily living that life. We were having a lot of fun. But I remember that's something that we had our fun. Too much fun. That's something that we talked about a lot, and we connected over, and that was always a good baseline in your relationship. So
absolutely, I do remember that. Remember those days, man. Yeah. Friggin'
old Jacob.
About Jacob.
Remember that guy?
Yeah. I remember Jacob. All those boys at PBA. Yeah. All right, well, back to a couple more things before we finish. I want to play a little game with you, Grant, if that's okay.
Play game.
So you have this 5 under series, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't mind, I'm going to have you rank 1 through 10 every one of your episodes. Oh. Can we do this?
Ooh. Yeah.
Get closer to your mic.
Get in there.
Okay.
You ready?
1 through 10.
You just 1 out of 10. You got to give me to the decimals because I want to know which ones.
Oh, you're talking about. I thought you were going to rank them all. Okay.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, let's go.
Sergio Garcia.
Sergio Garcia was a great one. It came down to the final hole. That's like a 9 point. And when I rank this, I'm gonna rank this on how good the video was, not necessarily the guest. I'm not going off of the guest. I'm going off of strictly the competitive and how it came down to the final hole.
Yeah.
Sergio Garcia is like a 9.8.
Whoa.
I mean, it was incredible.
Isn't that like your first one?
It was my first one, and we went down to the final hole. On 18, I had to make a putt to
I remember
beat him.
that. I remember watching that.
Yeah.
All right, John Rahm.
John Rahm, he waxed me. So it was a great video hanging with John, but I'm going to give it like a 7.5. I didn't keep it competitive.
Okay. First episode with Phil.
That's
Dude, you start off hot with a 9.8. That's a crazy comeback.
no, Sergio, I couldn't. Like, Sergio was amazing.
Really?
I'm going to give the Phil original match is the best one. There was a lot of reasons it was the best one. It was the best one because it's also Phil, and then it's just the idea that on the first hole, he tricked me, talking about the dead flyer, and I hit it OB, and that was just something that I got people asked me about that more than anything in the 5 Under series was Phil, so that's got to be the best one. Out of
that ranked?
A 9.9. All right, let's go 10.
Okay.
10.
Let's go 10.
Perfect 10.
Because it also came out of the final hole too.
Yeah.
So it was everything. You had like
So it's a
perfect
10.
storm. Yeah, it's a 10.
Dang.
I love how excited you get when you talk about playing with pros. It really shines through. Like,
Yeah.
it shines through that this is like your passion. I really like that.
Come on.
Tony Finau.
Tony Finau. Ooh, wait. Oh, that was a really good one. It did come down. Yeah, I like when they come down to the final hole. So
really?
that one was, I would say Tony Finau was like an 8.7.
Okay.
It was really good. I think I beat him by 1 stroke.
Okay. Colin Morikawa.
Oh, this one was insane when he chipped in on
Well,
you.
yeah. So I was beating Morikawa after 9. We were at a good. It was such a So I had a 5-shot lead after 9 holes.
Okay. 5 shots.
Yeah, I remember watching
I
this video.
sustained
bro.
my 5-shot lead, and then on the back 9, I shot 42. Colin Morikawa shot 32.
So you lost by 5.
I lost by 5. I'm gonna give it like it was great because of just like how bad he beat me. I'll give it like an 8.
Okay, 8 flat.
That was such a
Wesley
good one.
Bryan.
I beat Wesley pretty bad.
Like a 5, probably.
Yeah, I'll give it like a 6. I beat Wesley by like 3 or 4. It wasn't too
We got
competitive.
like 6.2.
Yeah.
Just-
Okay.
Phil rematch.
Poor Wes.
All right, we're going rapid fire.
All right,
now.
the rematch was great. Phil putted it off the green. It was a great match. It was another great one. I would say it's a 9. Give that a 9 out of 10.
Dang.
9.0.
Yeah.
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott. What happened? Adam Scott. Great guy, dude. He is.
His swing is butter.
Yeah. He's a good-looking dude.
Butter.
Great golf swing. Adam Scott. What the heck happened? Let me think here. Oh yeah, he beat me. By like a shot or 2.
Yeah, that was a good match.
Yeah, it was a great match. I'll give it like an 8.5.
Dude, this shows that you really take your time on your videos because you're really giving these high rankings. I love that. Justin Thomas, he tricked you, I remember.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that
Or
was such a good one.
JT.
No, he called the chip
called the
in.
chip
That's
in,
the
yeah.
chip in. That's
Yes,
right. That's the chip in.
that's one of the best ones. Yeah, that's up there.
He said, watch this, Grant.
Yeah,
9-9?
JT and Phil are tied for the 2 best. 9.9.
9-9, so he's
I'll go
just under
9-9.
Phil. Just
Yep.
because you can't cheat on Phil.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
That's your man.
Yeah.
Scotty Scheffler. I mean, world number 1.
Scotty Scheffler was just.
Yikes.
I played so bad. I was so nervous. I knew that video. I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my gosh.
That was such a great video, though.
I was like, it's
I enjoyed
Scotty.
watching that.
Yeah, I was really nervous. I'm gonna say he just waxed me. Let's give it like just because it's Scotty. Let's give it an 8.
Okay. 8
From
flat.
the competitive side, it wasn't it.
All right, Tommy Fleetwood. Ooh.
That was a
good
great one, but I
Jesus.
beat him. We both shot 66. I'll give it a 7.5.
Okay, 7.5.
Yeah, from just didn't
Max
come down
Homa?
the wire. Max Homa destroyed me. Great video, really fun vibes. Destroyed me. I mean, that's like a 7.
Okay. Jason Day.
Jason Day, I was playing terrible. Destroyed me again. Let's give that a 7.5.
Okay, so a lot of 0.5s. Ricky Fowler.
Ricky Fowler. Oh, that one was frustrating. Yeah, didn't play good again.
I'm seeing a pattern here. You
Yeah,
guys
I've been
noticing
on
a
a
pattern here?
I've been on a-
He's been on a bad streak.
Been on a
Yeah, I've been
heater.
on a losing streak. It's been rough, man. Ricky Fowler. Ooh, yeah, that was tough. He beat me so bad, and I also it was so like a weak. I just handed it to him. Let's do like 6.5.
Ooh.
I didn't like it.
Lowest rating.
6.7.
I didn't like the way I played. Ricky was
You
great.
think?
Yeah. Nelly Corda.
Well, yeah, that's. I guess we'll technically count that.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, yeah.
No, Nelly was great.
She's unreal.
Choked. I had a 3-shot lead heading into the final hole with Nelly.
You play the same hole or same tees?
Same tees. I had a 3-shot lead heading into the final hole. I hit it OB. She birdied. So we went to a playoff. I lost. The playoff.
Oh my gosh, bro! What are
so-
you doing?
We got to
Yeah.
put that one up there.
Yeah,
man.
that one's top. I'm still
8-2.
recovered. Yeah, that's a good one. That one's real good. A2s. I like A2.
All right, Bryson. Final one.
Oh, it was a great one. Came down to the final hole. I'll give it like a 8-7.
8-7. There you go.
What a ranking.
And you've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pros. And
15.
That's crazy.
Come on.
That's a lot of pros, brother.
A lot of pros. Still got a couple more. Got to get through.
More that you've already filmed?
I think I'm
No, but I'm just saying.
I'm coming up in a couple of weeks, aren't I?
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
I get like 6 shots. I start 6 under against
when's
Matt
the Brad
Shelton.
Dahlke episode, though?
Dude, yeah, that's I was texting Brad, yeah. We'll see. We'll
That'd be
see. I
crazy.
need 5. I would probably need 5 shots against Brad.
Probably.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
He's like a
He's a
plus
good player.
8. He's like
That's
a
gonna be
plus
tough.
8.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough to
see.
be like, hey Brad. Okay, give me 5.
All right. Well, any of you guys have any closing remarks? Grant, appreciate it. Sharf, anything else you want to say? Questions? Grant, any closing remarks to the Good Podcast fandom?
Yeah.
Why did I say fandom? Edit that out. That is
Edit that
the
out.
dumbest thing I've ever
The
said.
good fandom. Yikes.
I hated that. Actually, edit that out, Max. Why did I say fandom? I meant to say the Good Podcast fans.
The
Why did I say
fandom.
fandom? Bro, what was that? I hated that. I didn't
I-
even use the word. Sorry.
Yeah, I would just say no. I'm pumped for this. What we teased a little bit. This reunion. I'm pumped for it. Think it's gonna be a good time. Hope Mike and Bubby.
Well, we got to get them in a cart.
Yeah,
obviously.
get them out.
Are you kidding me?
I want them to get really competitive.
we need Bubby smoking a cigar in a cart next to Grant.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Because that's the real reason Grant left. Let's be honest.
Dude.
He's smoking.
Bubby.
No, he burnt me. No, that he did.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's Bubby, like he's holding it, and my arm's getting closer, and the ash, he just set it on my arm. I'm like, I literally like yelled. It hurts so bad.
Some say the reason. Right there.
But yeah, I did.
That's why Grant left. Good.
That is the reason. Also,
That's
partially
literally-
because his last video he made like an 8, and he remember he like quadrupled that par 3. That was his last hole on Good.
Oh yeah, it's true. Stream song.
Who would have thought he made like an 8? Remember?
I did.
He like duck hooked it way left, and then he like freaking sailed.
Was
the
that
green.
last to birdie or something or whatever it was? What video was that?
It was something, but
I don't remember if it was last. Oh, it might have been. But then you sailed the green. It was really funny to watch.
Yeah.
Sorry, I hate to say it, but we were all kind of laughing and
that's
chuckling
fine.
a little bit.
That's fine.
Because you were playing like
I deserve
unreal,
it.
and then all of a sudden he duck hooks it way left, sails the green, chunks it, sails the green again, makes it 8. It was
Yeah.
it was sick. But no, I'm excited for this reunion. It's always good to see you and reminisce on some of the old days that we had in Good. Those are obviously some unreal and amazing times. You have all got to witness Grant running, and that is a victory in itself. Every time you see Grant run, it is a legendary piece. It's like finding the a mythic. It's like finding the Krusty gun in Fortnite. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna win the game.
A young giraffe, like
Yeah.
an injured young giraffe.
It was pretty sweet. But
It's a young giraffe who like accidentally got into some like wine or something.
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Also, like, what would people want to see? Is another.
Yeah,
question.
that's a great question.
What would those formats be?
Let us know.
yeah.
If they made it this far, this is way they had to be like
They got to
had
be locked
really
in right
sitting
now.
in.
This is where they only see it on a TikTok clip, actually.
Yeah, they're like, so where was this in the video? Actually,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. Stay tuned. There's probably going to be a reunion, couple videos on Grant's channel and the Good channel potentially. So stay tuned. But yeah, we appreciate you guys tuning into this Good podcast. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, we appreciate all the support. And obviously go subscribe to Grant if you haven't, but you probably already are. So yeah.
Thanks, Grant. Thanks for being here.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
boys.
Yeah.